The Crew Motorfest Ferrari update is here, bringing with it a new playlist, a really cool new location, and several new vehicles. So let's go and take a look at what's new. There's even some cool new images in the intro. Ah yes, you can now set 4 vehicles as favourites, and they can be any vehicles through the quick selection thing, rather than just having your boat, your road vehicle, and your plane, which is kind of cool. So, as you might expect, it's over on Maui, as a lot of the playlists are, but, just like the Red Bull thing, they've added a whole area.
Today is a red letter day.
I like how they've got Museo Ferrari there, that's cool, on the entrance to this area. And I believe if you approach these cars... Ah, yeah. You can go on see vehicle and do that. And then... you can buy them through here as well. It's just kind of cool little change. I do like how each playlist gets this sort of themed area. If they keep doing things like this every time there's a big update, like they did with Red Bull, that would be cool. Anyway, what are the requirements for this? Buy an F50. Luckily, I can just about afford one. Wait, that's cheap. Especially considering normally in Motorfest, normally in the Crew, cars cost way more than they do in reality. But this is considerably cheaper than a real one. That actually looks really good. And with that, I think we're into the playlist.
My name is Michele Pignatti Morano. I am the director of the Ferrari Museums. Here we are, where there is the birthhouse of Enzo Ferrari. Ferrari is a legend. It's just exceptionally full of excellence.
Exceptionally full of excellence. Quickly before we drive there, though, this car has some customization. Not a lot. There is only one thing you can do, but I think we've got to take the roof down. Right, and after nearly 10 minutes, let's load into the first event.
People call it the 288 GTO, but that is not the correct definition.
That's what I call it.
The definition for that car is the GTO. Punto.
GTO Fiat Punto. What's a car, though? So the first thing you notice is custom speedometer. Although, it doesn't tell me what gear I'm in, so driving manual is slightly odd. So I think what they don't really explain in this is it's all about the Ferrari Big 5, or I suppose Big 6 now that the F80 exists. So when they're talking about the lineage and how they improve with every model, I think it just applies to that, because obviously they had more ordinary supercars alongside these. So it's basically 288 GTO, or GTO as he's just corrected us on, F40, F50, Enzo, LaFerrari and F80. And this is probably my favourite of all of them.
And as intended, it is one of the fastest street legal production cars of its time.
It would be really nice to know what gear I'm in. Having said that, I do absolutely love that we've got these speedometers that match the interior, just like the old test drive days. Kind of makes sense, given I think some of the team that worked on this game did test drive, or worked on some bits of test drive. Actually, speaking of that, it's one of the things Test Drive have failed to do. Which, given it was originally one of their USPs. Anyway. And just like that, first event complete.
Ferrari, my young friend.
And then,
I was
Chapter 2.
delighted with that introduction. On the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50.
That's pushing it a bit. I mean, yes, the engine was originally from Motorsport. Right, so F40 or F50? The F40's cool, but I have to say it's quite similar to the 288 GTO. It's kind of loosely based on it, I think.
A bridge between road and
So this should be more different. Although it's not as cool as the blue one that I've bought, so... I can see what gear I'm in this time, so...
Let me tell you
Oh wow, those dials are really realistic. The bulb for 240 to 360 has failed. Very Italian. Also, I think that's very optimistic. Even 220 is... Okay, it would make sense the speedometer going to 220, even if... Because you can probably get over 200? Surely these do over 200. I'm not catching him fast enough, I don't think. It's my own fault for putting it in a wall. That's not a road. Well, it is a road, it's just... Oh, this is really cool, actually. I think this is new, right? This wasn't in the game. This is one of the new cars. Okay, yeah, 220 really isn't out of the question. Especially in Motorfest where we can boost.
This was the F50.
And this time that went rather better.
Performance and racing spirit with every fiber of its being.
But that's weird, look, that in the race, the numbers from 240 onwards weren't illuminated. But they are on the actual dashboard, so... I'm not quite sure why they did that. Wait. I think they made a mistake. Because the one in the car is in kilometers, which is why it goes up to 360. So when it's set to miles per hour, it shouldn't go round to 360. It should go round to what the equivalent of 360 is in miles. But they obviously only did it with the kilometer numbers and didn't recreate it separate. Interesting. They just used the same graphic but put miles per hour and didn't use all of it. Which is why the extra ones would grayed out, I suppose. Interesting. I'd have thought it'd be worth them just making two. Because they effectively have anyway if they've grayed them out. Anyway. Right, so in this one we're not driving one of the big five. We're over to the Testarossa, or actually the 512 TR, which sort of followed the Testarossa. And again, I don't know what gear I'm in. It's a good looking car, the Testarossa. Maybe I should probably look at it. I'm sure a Testarossa can't do 200 miles an hour, but there we go. Boost does help.
This was quite a breath of fresh air. And nostalgia.
What a cool car.
The Scuderia is what started it all.
course, being the crew, we're going to do that.
For this second
Actually, I think it's switched into my one. It's blue.
FXXK.
I don't think it's normally blue under story mode, is it? Also, I love the speedometer for this. And just like that, another chapter complete.
Glorious racetrack heritage.
Okay, this has a really cool speedometer.
Civilized.
This is probably the first one of them that came out after hypercar was kind of coined as a
My word, did they
phrase.
deliver.
This playlist has been done really well, though. I love how they do these themed events. And that whole new Ferrari location is really cool. Even if Ferrari isn't necessarily my favourite brand. Or Red Bull, for that matter. But I hope they keep populating Maui with new areas like that every time they add a playlist. And across the line.
Racing heritage, luxury, and exclusivity.
Yellow rev counter.
There it is. It's 2013, and a new supercar emerges from the Maranello factory.
Get out of the way.
Astonishingly intense competition. Ferrari still treated their rivals to a true tour de force.
It's hard to believe that when the Crew 1 came out, this car was only about a year old.
Ferrari, some lucky people got to witness technology peak improvements at both ends of the spectrum.
There's the finish.
Civilized, but also the fastest and most exhilarating road car ever made by the prancing horse.
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I'm quite excited to drive it, partly because all of the cars we've driven so far I have driven before in various games. This is brand new though, so... Well, I think they haven't even started delivering them. And yeah, I'm not a big... I mean, it's just big and square. Although, having said that, seeing it in this game,
Legendary sports
I don't hate it as much as I did when it was first unveiled.
passion of a man.
It is kind of cool.
Passion for driving and racing.
I still prefer most of the other ones, but anyway.
With the will to build cars, each one better than the last.
I also kind of feel like there's nothing groundbreaking about this one like there was with LaFerrari with the hybrid, or with the Enzo, or...
Faded away. It informs every single
or
decision
no
made by
obvious
the
big
prancing
thing
horse.
that is.
It
I'm sure
fuels
it's...
the relentless drive to explore car technology,
Yeah, I'm sure it's full of the latest tech,
make
but...
it evolve, to design the most incredible cars in the world.
What happened if I looked where I was driving it, though?
Champions of the racetrack. It is part of a collective consciousness.
Oh, that's cool. White Testarossa. As this is new, I suppose we should drive some of this from interior view. Although it feels kind of... sort of similar to a LaFerrari, maybe a bit more modern. And it's got actual buttons on the steering wheel instead of touchscreens that they've finally got rid of. Although it has still got the indicators on the steering wheel, which is a bit of a design flaw.
And this is
Oh, it's gone sort of black and white, that's cool. That's a really cool effect with all the red. I have to say, I think this is possibly one of the best done playlists.
Ferrari, a car brand millions of people.
I've really enjoyed this one. I didn't necessarily think I would, especially as I've done so many playlists already.
Over the decades.
Right, I don't think we're going to earn back the credits that we spent on that F50. We'll get some kind of prize money, and I think we win this car, right? That's what I'm expecting. Oh no, it's a... I kind of wanted the new car, just because it's new, although, like I said at the beginning, this is probably my favourite of them. So I'm not going to complain. I think this is also a new edition, wasn't it? This, the F50 and the F80. Yeah, so I don't know why I was mistaken and thought the Ferrari F80 was the prize. It's available for purchase in 5 days. But we do have a 288 GTO and an F50 that I had to buy to participate in the playlist. And we have played through the new playlist. Which, yeah, like I keep saying, was possibly more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And yeah, it's all been really well done, particularly like this new location. And I hope they keep adding them. I think, though, that is going to be that for today's video as we drive our brand new Ferrari GTO, not 288. So, yeah, as ever, do let me know your thoughts on the latest Motorfest update. But for today's video, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one very soon.